Understanding what your core energy signal is a really big part of deliberate creation and living your moments on purpose. One of the ways to read what your energy is really like, what your core true signal is to watch and witness your own recurring patterns of thinking. And to do this, you just have to pay attention to your automatic choice of words and essentially the language you use in everyday scenarios, both in your outer speech and what you say to others and what you say in your communication, and in your internal chatter and your subvocalizations. I'll often ask my clients to just do an unfiltered brain dump when we're talking about something they're currently working on. No editing or consciously choosing your words, but rather letting every thought occurring to you make it onto the page of your journal. Once you do this, then you go into the witness and watcher perspective. You push yourself into third person objective awareness and review the pattern of thinking, review the script that's sort of running in the background, review the automatic thinking. Doing this gives you space and distance from the self you're being in that situation, or as it relates to that situation, or as it relates to whatever you're trying to achieve. And it allows you to look at your own story. It gets you to have perspective on your current active perspective. And this is a really useful way to stay on top of keeping your conscious awareness and your subconscious systems aligned and flowing or spinning in the same constructive direction. So spinning in the direction of your desired outcome, flowing in resonance with your desired outcome. So it's an exercise you want to step into regularly. You want to regularly ask yourself, what do I think and feel about this situation? What do I automatically think and feel about this situation? And then step back and watch your active narrative or rehearsed script sort of reveal itself to you. What we think of consciously and what we're thinking of subconsciously can at times, and I would even say most of the time, be at odds with one another. And we'll seldom have a clear conscious grasp of the energetic undercurrent we're actually operating from if we don't take ourselves into watching and witnessing the chatter that is most often, if not always, there. As an example, let's say that you're consciously focused on growing your success. Subconsciously, however, you may be focused on survival. So there's different values between your two systems, between your conscious awareness or your conscious focus and your subconscious awareness or your subconscious focus. So your conscious self, if you will, is focused on growth in this scenario, while your subconscious self is focused on survival. This can happen, and oftentimes what's revealed when you look closer into the scripts or narratives you have running in the background are these undercurrents of resistance in the guise of hesitation, excuses, complaints, explanations, justifications, and so on about the way things are and why they are the way they are and why they're going to stay that way. All of that is there beneath your conscious awareness, and it's interfering with, or in most cases, drowning out your conscious signal. On the surface, this subconscious focus of surviving and the conscious focus of growing may be encapsulated by the same desire. But if you look closely at your focus, however, they are distinctly different vibrations. They are distinctly different currents of energy that are emanating from you. And underneath that focus of growth and success may be this undercurrent of an insecure, anxious energy that's at the base of what's driving you to grow or to move into success. So it's really worthwhile to pause and reflect regularly on what you're consciously focused on and then the background noise you may have happening. Now, here's why it's worthwhile to get under the hood of your own focus and attention. Our subconscious mind, our subconscious system, is what drives our automatic behaviors. Your posture, your word choice, in any given moment, the hum of emotions that are always a part of your day-to-day experience are all informed by your subconscious system. Your automatic behaviors are what make you efficient at everything that you do. And these habits of being, which encompass habituated thoughts, habituated emotions, habituated actions, are all under the control of your subconscious mind. So you want to continually take a look at what that background driving force is and what it's actually saying, what signals it's actually generating, what energy it's actually having you anchored in. And you want to do this. You want to identify what the subconscious agenda is, that is an undercurrent of needs and wants, so that you can recognize what's eating up your energy. It's sort of like the programs running on your computer, but that are running in the background. They're there, they're slowing your system down, they're eating up the resources of your computer, and they're slowing down the overall performance of your computer and maybe even interfering with how quickly you're able to open your favorite programs. But they're there in the background. Even though you don't need them or use them, or you haven't consciously chosen to open them and have them run in the background, they're there doing that. And it's a useful analogy in this case because when your conscious focus and your subconscious mind are split, so is your energy. So is your internal resources. So is your flow. All right, so how do you go on about revealing your subconscious agenda to yourself? You start by making it a regular, at least weekly, if not daily part of your practice to examine your current focus. Take stock of what's happening in your life right now and see what it is you want to happen. Then see what you think is actually happening here. And we always have this split evaluation of our current circumstance. We have this need of what we want to happen, and we have this narrative of what we think is actually happening. And usually what we think is actually happening is framed with an internal vocalization that's based on limitation, that's saying you can't have what you want, that it's always going to be like this or that. Things are really bad right now. They're not going to get better. You're not going to get to do what you really want to do. Oh, it's not going to work out. Oh, they're not going to let you have it. Or some version of either why you're limited or why your environment's limiting you. So you'll have the desired outcome in mind where you say, I want to accomplish X, Y, and Z. And you'll have the undercurrent chatter, the background noise that's talking about why you won't be able to achieve that desired outcome, either because of some internal forces or because of some external forces. I find writing it out usually helps by setting up 2 columns on the page where on one side you write out the outcome you're consciously desiring to live or the situation that you are identifying as the ideal situation. And then on the other side, you write out the recurring thoughts and feelings. And again, unedited, where you just do a brain dump where you don't watch your word choice or edit how and what you say, what you need to say. You just let it all out unfiltered. And you can video record yourself sort of going through this process, or you can audio record yourself. But the goal is to get it all out and in front of you, to get those 2 points of focus on the same page, to address basically your conscious awareness and what your conscious awareness is recording and reporting, and to bring to the forefront of your awareness your subconscious mind, what you're subconsciously saying, what you're subconsciously thinking and feeling about the situation. And again, usually the subconscious focus is sort of limitation based. It's looking at why it can't happen or why you can't go there or what have you. If you've been doing this kind of process, you may have tipped your sort of automatic thinking and feeling process into a positive bend. But if you haven't, it will likely have a negative bend to it. And again, the goal of this exercise is to get you to get perspective on your current perspective, both from the conscious angle and the background noise angle. Once you have that, then you can make a decision about if the background noise, if that background chatter, if that subconscious vocalization or narrative you have going on is in alignment to what you actually want to be experiencing. When you build on this skill of awareness, you'll be able to move into coherence quickly around the new things you desire to achieve or around the situations that you're currently finding yourself in. The more you do this, the more you again and again turn your awareness into that realm of conscious thought and that realm of subconscious thought, you'll find yourself automatically releasing old narratives because you become so quick to excavate and drop those stored stories that are based on limitation, that are based on fearful thinking, that are based in survival emotions. It's almost like you've trained your awareness to have a portion of itself directed toward the stored narrative so that when you move into a new stage of development or when you move into a new territory of experience, it becomes a part of your automatic organization or reorganization of self to drop those limiting stories that would prevent you from flowing into that new experience, from flowing into that new stage of development, from flowing into that new territory of consciousness or experience effortlessly and easily and coherently from the get-go. So when you begin to move into something new, whether again it's internal or external, you'll naturally evaluate that background narrative and adjust it so that it's in alignment and in harmony with your ideal outcome or your ultimate end. And as usual, it comes down to practice. And this is one of those must-have skills for accelerating your ability to shift into experiences, whether again they're internal or external, fluidly without the interference of inherited and limiting beliefs and stories.